You're not unmotivated, you're just overwhelmed. Every day, your energy leaks into distractions, opinions, and noise that don't deserve your attention. You scroll, you react, you explain yourself to people who barely matter. And then you wonder why you feel drained. This isn't a lack of discipline, it's a lack of direction. But what if I told you, your next level begins with silence? In a world obsessed with speed, attention, and external validation, the greatest upgrade you can make isn't louder hustle, it's deeper alignment. Because here's the truth, you can't build a peaceful life with a noisy mind. When you constantly react to everything around you, you lose touch with everything within you. You chase deadlines, opinions, and trends, but forget the one thing that actually creates lasting success: your own mental clarity. You don't need more motivation. You need to stop leaking your focus. When was the last time you truly checked in with yourself, without the pressure, without the noise, without the need to prove anything? This video isn't just another pep talk. It's a reset. A roadmap back to your center, your power, your peace. Because once you stop chasing everything, you start attracting what actually matters. Let's begin. 1. Inner focus, the secret to mental clarity. Your power doesn't come from noise, it's born in quiet. True calm isn't found in the world, it lives inside you. This isn't feel-good advice. It's your guide to thriving in today's fast-paced chaos. When your thoughts race and distractions multiply, you lose your edge. Instead of living your story, you're stuck in highlights from others, nightmares of tomorrow, and echoes of yesterday. Here's a shift. What if the peace you dodge is exactly what restores your power? Staying silent doesn't mean surrendering. It means reconnecting with your true center. Mindfulness isn't just meditation. It's coming home to who you are when everything else is loud. It's watching your breath instead of your worries. You reclaim clarity when you stop chasing storms and master the one within. Every time you seek approval, you give away your power. But when you choose silence and live by your own values, you take it back. Start this now. 1. Build quiet in your day. Don't escape, but carve space. 2. Watch your thoughts like passing clouds. No judgment. 3. Choose what you control. Your focus, habits, reactions. 4. Return to your center every day. This isn't one time. A monk once stayed calm while his village argued. When asked why he didn't engage, he said, "If someone offers a gift and you don't take it, who owns it?" Silence isn't weakness, it's strength. Ask yourself, where is your energy flowing? Fear or your future? Alignment, not attention, is your path. Stop reacting. Start creating. You are the sun. The storm passes. Return to your calm, and everything else follows. 2. Silence, the underrated power play. Stop talking to fill the void. Speak the words that matter. Silence isn't vacancy, it's insight. It's a Zen notion. Quiet isn't absence, it's harmony. Like a glassy lake that mirrors the sky, a still mind sees clearly. How often do you speak just to be heard, to defend, or to prove yourself? Every word costs energy, and in the rush to reply, you sacrifice your peace. In chaos, your strength isn't in responses, it's in your restraint. A legendary Zen teacher stayed silent when attacked. Asked why, he replied, "I choose peace instead of proof." That's wisdom. Because not everything needs a response, not every view deserves airtime. Sometimes your strongest act is saying nothing. Have you left a conversation wishing you had stayed quiet? What if silence became your greatest asset? When you listen more, everything becomes sharper, your intentions, your presence. And presence? That's magnetic. People trust calm resilience more than loud conviction. How to train silence. 1. Before speaking, ask, will this add value or noise? 2. Listen deeply. Don't just wait your turn. 3. Use silence to let emotions settle before reacting. 4. Reflect on what silence revealed today. One day you'll look back and realize the words you held back strengthened your relationships. The silence you embraced sharpened your clarity. Speak less. Align more. In a shouting world, silence is rebellion and your greatest message. 3. Self-discipline, the foundation of your freedom. Order isn't restriction, it's liberation. Discipline is doing the internal work, unseen, so you can shine when it matters. Like bamboo, deep roots grow in secret before it bursts skyward. Discipline isn't punishment, it's devotion to your best self. It's your anchor when the world demands your attention, time, and energy. You don't wait for motivation, you show up anyway. Because discipline is built in the small moments, the unmoving morning, the daily check-in, the choice to breathe before reacting. Build your structure. 1. Choose one habit that aligns with your values. Start small. 2. Do it every day, even when you don't feel like it. 3. Notice how calm and energy grow with consistency. 4. Improve over time. Perfection isn't the goal. A monk swept a garden daily, even when nothing stirred. It's not about the leaves, it's about the mind that shows up. That's self-discipline in action. It shapes your character, not just your day. Ask yourself, what if you lived by your values, not by your emotions? What if discipline fueled your peace instead of your stress? Show up, breathe, choose. One day, your silent work will stand taller than you imagined. Discipline is the quiet architect of the extraordinary life you're building. 4. Detachment. Become emotionally untouchable. Holding on to negativity only ties you down. Imagine your mind is the sky, limitless, open, unaffected by passing storms. Negativity is not unfeeling, it's crystal clear. It's seeing criticism without taking it in. It's turning away from drama and stepping into freedom. When someone attacks you, your ego wants to fight. A wiser self walks on. That's true freedom. Not every opinion is worth your attention. Too often we carry others' judgments as if they belong to us. We replay old hurts, carry regrets, crave validation we don't need. Practice emotional resilience. 1. Notice the trigger when your peace is disturbed. 2. Pause and feel, but don't become the emotion. 3. Ask, does this deserve a spot in my mind? 4. Watch it drift away, like a cloud across the sky. Detachment isn't passive, it's a radical act of self-care. It means you control what you absorb. You don't react to everything, you choose what stays. So ask yourself, the last time you stayed calm instead of responding, was that your true power? In a world drawn to conflict, Calm is defiance. Release, rise, repeat. 5. The grace of stillness. Staying centered in the eye of the storm. Most people live on edge. One wrong word, one unexpected twist, and they're thrown into turmoil. The default mode becomes defensiveness, tension, chaos. But what if you could meet disruption with composure? Not by avoiding discomfort, but by learning to be still in the midst of it. Life doesn't always give warnings. It moves suddenly. Arguments, delays, heartbreaks, missed chances. The question is not whether storms will come. They will. The real question is, will you be swept away, or will you remember your anchor? When you're rooted in presence, you can bend without breaking, like bamboo in heavy winds, flexible but grounded. You don't have to match the noise of the world. You don't have to retaliate every time something disturbs your calm. You can choose not to be pulled. In Buddhism, awareness is not about suppressing emotion. It's about observing it without letting it dictate your next move. Between what happens and how you respond, there is space, and in that space, there is power. The untrained mind lunges, defends, judges, panics, but a conscious mind learns to pause. That pause is not weakness, it is strength disguised as silence. One conscious breath can shift the entire trajectory of a conversation, a relationship, even a day. Think back. Has snapping back in anger ever really healed anything? Did that knee-jerk reaction bring you closer to peace, or did it keep you circling the same emotional patterns? Here's how you begin the shift. Step 1. Identify your inner alarm bells, the moments that tighten your chest or flood your thoughts. Step 2. When one goes off, stop, breathe before you speak or act. Even 3 seconds can change everything. Step 3. Ask, is my action creating clarity or adding to the storm? Step 4. Practice with small moments, an annoying comment, a delayed response, an unexpected interruption. These are your training grounds. Responding rather than reacting doesn't mean being passive. It means being wise, choosing timing, tone, and intention. It's a skill, a discipline of maturity. Over time, you'll notice people respond to your energy differently. Not because you dominate the room, but because you no longer let the room dominate you. Calm becomes your power. You become a mirror, reflecting without absorbing. Let your presence be your response. Let your steadiness speak louder than your words. The goal isn't emotional perfection, it's awareness. Every time you pause and choose to act from clarity, you shape a different future. Remember, storms don't shake trees with deep roots. Anchor yourself, not in control, but in consciousness, and chaos will no longer define you. 6. Detach from negativity. Preserve your light. You can't grow in soil that poisons your roots. You can't heal in spaces where your spirit is bruised every day. And yet, so many of us stay. Hoping love will be enough. Hoping loyalty will fix dysfunction. Hoping that dimming ourselves might brighten someone else. But here's the truth. If someone keeps blowing out your flame, it's not your job to keep relighting it. Sometimes protecting your peace is the most courageous form of love. Not love for them, love for yourself. There's a difference between compassion and self-abandonment. Buddhism teaches compassion for all sentient beings, but never at the expense of your own well-being. True compassion includes you. You are not a dumping ground for someone else's pain. You are not required to bleed in order to prove you're kind. You are allowed to love someone and still walk away. You are allowed to say, "This energy is not healthy for me." Familiarity does not equal safety. Toxicity doesn't always scream. Sometimes it whispers in guilt, in gaslighting, in cycles you excuse because you've normalized the dysfunction. Ask yourself this: do you feel like you're growing with this person, or are you constantly recovering from them? Do you feel supported and seen, or are you always explaining your boundaries like they're negotiations? There's an old story. A monk would bless every soul who crossed his path. One day, a bitter man spat words full of hatred at him. The monk stayed silent, smiled gently. A disciple asked, "Why didn't you respond?" He said, "When someone offers you poison, you don't have to drink it." That's the lesson we forget. You are not obligated to accept every energy offered to you. Not every conflict requires your reply. Not every relationship deserves your repair. Letting go does not mean hatred. It means you choose not to self-destruct in the name of connection. You can bless someone's journey and still know they are not meant to walk beside you. So how do you start protecting your peace? Step 1. Become a student of your energy. How do you feel after being with them? Lighter, or like you're carrying bricks? Step 2. Set invisible boundaries. You don't owe everyone access to you. Peace doesn't require an explanation. Silence can be the boundary. Step 3. Replace noise with stillness. If someone's presence is draining, spend more time in the presence of stillness. It's in the quiet you'll hear your truth again. Step 4. Let go with softness. You don't need to burn bridges. You can simply stop walking toward the fire, wish them well, and keep walking home to yourself. This journey isn't about isolation, it's about alignment. When you protect your peace, you make space for people who don't require you to shrink to stay. People who see your silence as depth, not distance. People who add to your spirit, not drain it. So I ask you, who are you without the weight of others' chaos? Who are you when you're not busy fixing what doesn't want to be healed? Who are you when you're free to grow without apology? That version of you, the peaceful one, is not selfish. That's the real you. Let go, not from bitterness, but from clarity. Because not everyone can go where you're growing, and that's okay. 7. Shape your life through quiet habits. We wait for transformation like it's a thunderclap, a moment, a revelation, a breakthrough. But the truth is, growth whispers. It's not found in loud change. It's carved in the quiet consistency of your smallest decisions. The habits you live today, they are shaping who you become tomorrow. Not just your schedule, but your identity, your peace, your future. The mind loves drama and big goals, but the soul craves rhythm, ritual, and repetition. Each time you choose presence over panic, a new pathway is built. Each morning you breathe instead of scroll, you reinforce awareness. Each evening you reflect instead of distract, you nurture your clarity. These aren't rules, they're sacred acts. And Buddhism reminds us, every moment contains the seed of your becoming. The life you dream of isn't waiting in some distant future. It's already being crafted in how you spend your mornings, what you say to yourself in silence, what you feed your mind when no one else is looking. So how do you master the small? Step 1. Choose one habit that reconnects you to presence. It could be a breath, a journal entry, a mindful tea, one conscious choice. Step 2. Anchor it to something you already do. Brush your teeth. Add 3 deep breaths after. Drink coffee. Sip it in silence. Stack habits, and they stick. Step 3. Protect it. Let nothing, no emotion, no distraction interfere with that one sacred act. Step 4. Reflect. How do you feel after? What shifted even slightly? You'll find this. Small habits teach you to trust yourself. Every time you follow through, you're telling your subconscious, I am someone who shows up. That identity reshapes everything. You don't need to overhaul your life. You need to honor the small, because eventually those small acts become a lifestyle. The lifestyle becomes a mindset, and the mindset builds your destiny. There's a saying, first we make our habits, then our habits make us. So build them gently, but build them daily, one pause at a time, one breath at a time. That's how peace is created, not in theory, but in repetition. So ask yourself today, what is the small sacred thing you can do for your future self? Then do it, not for applause, but because you are becoming someone who honors your own evolution. 8. Walk without chasing. The wisdom of non-attachment. There's a tension we all carry. The urge to control what we can't, to force outcomes, to grip tightly to how we think life should unfold. We work, we strive, we plan, and yet uncertainty remains. And for many, that uncertainty becomes the root of suffering. But what if peace doesn't come from knowing how it ends, but from showing up fully, regardless? Ancient wisdom teaches, effort is yours, outcome is not. And though that may feel unsettling at first, it's actually the doorway to inner freedom, because control is a heavy burden. But presence, that's liberation. Imagine a sculptor who chips away at stone day after day, not for praise, not for certainty of success, but because the act of shaping something with care brings them alive. They're not clinging to a result. They're devoted to the process. And that devotion is where joy lives. When you attach your worth to results, life becomes a series of tests you're never sure you're passing. You fear failure, you fear judgment, you lose the present moment trying to predict the future. But when you root yourself in your effort, when you give all you have without needing it to be applauded or measured, you enter a different state, one of quiet power. This isn't resignation, it's refinement, a shift from obsession to presence. Ask yourself, am I doing this from fear or from love? Am I acting from trust or from desperation? If no one ever noticed, would I still choose this path? True mastery is not just about skill, it's about surrender. It's saying, I will pour my heart into this, but I will not let the result define me. You become the kind of person who writes without worrying if it's read, who plants without needing to see the bloom, who helps without expecting praise, because your reward is the peace that comes from alignment, not approval. Try this. Detach your effort from the scoreboard. Show up because it matters to you, not because you're waiting for validation. Pause when you feel frustration rising. Ask, am I holding too tightly to how this should go? Celebrate progress, not perfection. Your growth is often invisible, but that doesn't make it any less real. When you stop chasing results, life becomes less of a competition and more of a dance. You move freely, you trust timing, you release the grip and gain presence. And sometimes, paradoxically, letting go is what allows everything to fall into place. Because the universe has a rhythm, and when you move in sync with it rather than against it, things tend to unfold not as you planned, but often better than you imagined. So keep walking, keep giving your best. Let your consistency be your prayer. Let your peace come not from what happens, but from how honestly you showed up. That's the quiet strength of the detached heart, unwavering, patient, full of effort, but free of expectation. 9. The mirror of awareness, turning inward to understand your path. We spend much of our lives looking outward, chasing goals, fixing problems, managing others' expectations. But rarely do we turn the gaze inward and ask, what's happening inside me? Self-awareness isn't a luxury, it's a necessity. Without it, we keep running in circles, solving the same problem with different faces. True transformation begins with a question, not an answer. A willingness to look, even when what we see isn't flattering. Buddhism reminds us, if the mind is the instrument through which life is experienced, then understanding that mind is the foundation of freedom. Self-inquiry isn't dramatic. It doesn't arrive with lightning bolts. It's subtle, quiet, often uncomfortable, but it's in this discomfort that truth starts to rise. Ask yourself, what am I avoiding by staying busy? Why does that particular situation trigger me? What belief am I still holding that keeps me small? These aren't questions to rush through. They're invitations to deepen your relationship with yourself. We all have patterns, habits of thought, behavior, emotion. Some are inherited, others shaped by past pain. But until you see them clearly, they run the show, and then you wonder why life feels stuck. Here's how you begin to look inward without judgment. Step 1. Write, not for anyone else, just for you. Uncensored, honest, raw. Let the truth spill out without needing it to sound wise. Step 2. When you feel resistance, don't run. Stay with it. Ask, what's beneath this? That emotion, that silence, that impulse to escape, it's a clue. Step 3. Replace shame with curiosity. This is not about self-blame, it's about self-understanding. Step 4. Make stillness part of your daily rhythm. You don't need answers right away, you just need to listen. The goal isn't to fix yourself. You're not a project, you're a being unfolding. Every old reaction, every recurring thought, they're all messages, not problems, but signposts. Don't be afraid of your inner world. It holds your entire story. When you finally sit with it, without the need to edit or escape, you begin to reclaim the parts of yourself you lost while trying to survive. Clarity doesn't shout, it whispers. It lives in the quiet moment after you've asked a real question and sat with the stillness that follows. You won't always like what you find, but what you find will set you free. The greatest freedom is knowing who you are beneath the noise, beneath the expectations, beneath the masks. That's the real you, the one that doesn't need validation or fixing, just witnessing. And once you've seen yourself clearly, the world can no longer distort your reflection. 10. Quiet the mind. Watch. Don't wrestle with your thoughts. Overthinking feels like control, but it's really a symptom of fear. Fear of making the wrong move, of being judged, of things falling apart. Your mind spins in circles, creating problems that often don't exist. But here's the shift. You are not your thoughts. You're the awareness that sees them come and go. Picture this. Your thoughts are like clouds passing across the sky. Some are dark and heavy, some are light and fleeting, but none of them define the sky. You don't chase the clouds, you watch them, you let them move on. That's what mindfulness is. Overthinking doesn't bring clarity, it brings exhaustion. You replay conversations, predict disasters, analyze moments that are long gone. And yet, peace never comes from solving every scenario. It comes from stepping back. The mind craves certainty, but life offers presence. When you stop clinging to every mental thread and start watching instead of reacting, something powerful happens. You return to this breath, this moment, this choice. You won't stop thoughts from coming, but you can stop giving them control. The more you observe instead of engage, the more freedom you find. You realize not every fear deserves your energy. Not every thought is a command. So next time your mind spirals, pause, breathe. Don't follow the thought, just notice it. Like waves, they rise and fall. And you remain the ocean. Peace isn't about silencing your mind, it's about learning not to get swept away. 11. Unplug to reclaim. Breaking free from the noise within. There's a quiet kind of chaos we've all come to accept. It doesn't shout from the streets or blare through speakers. It hums constantly from our pockets, from glowing screens, endless updates, likes, alerts, scrolls. Without noticing, our attention becomes fragmented, pulled in every direction but inward. We often think of silence as absence, but in truth, silence is presence, the kind that digital noise has slowly drowned out. The teachings of mindfulness remind us you cannot know yourself if you are never truly alone with yourself. You cannot find peace when you are perpetually plugged into a world designed to distract. Technology is not the enemy, but our dependency on it, our reflex to fill every quiet second with stimulation, keeps us from tuning into the one voice that actually matters, the one inside. Ask yourself, when was the last time you sat in stillness without reaching for your phone? When did you last feel the full span of a moment without a screen pulling you away from it? The mind, when left undirected, becomes reactive, restless. The constant influx of information trains it to chase novelty instead of depth. You begin to move faster, but you don't feel clearer. You become informed, but not necessarily wiser. Digital detachment isn't about deleting everything and escaping to a cave. It's about choosing intentional space between you and the noise. It's about remembering that your attention is your life force, and you get to choose where it goes. Here's how you start to reclaim it. Create sacred moments of disconnection. Morning silence before notifications. Evening reflection instead of scrolling. Redefine boredom. Don't see it as emptiness. See it as space for creativity, insight, rest. Practice full presence in daily life. Phone away during meals. Eye contact in conversations. Walks without earbuds. Audit your digital diet. Is your feed nourishing your spirit or draining your peace? The truth is, most of us aren't addicted to our phones. We're addicted to distraction, because sitting with ourselves can feel unfamiliar, even unsettling. But that discomfort is a doorway. On the other side is clarity, creativity, and a deeper connection to your life. What begins as quiet can turn into wisdom. What feels like missing out can become a rediscovery of self. When you unplug, even briefly, you stop outsourcing your attention and start reclaiming your presence. Because in the end, no notification is more important than your mental clarity. No feed is more alive than your own consciousness. And no connection is more vital than the one you rebuild with yourself when you finally sit still and listen. 12. Solitude is strength. Reclaiming yourself in silence. Solitude is often misunderstood. People fear it, not because it's painful, but because in silence, all the noise they've avoided comes to the surface. But stillness isn't empty. It's where your truest self waits. We live in a world where constant connection is praised, but real connection begins within. Time alone gives you the space to meet yourself without filters. No expectations, no performance, just presence. Think of a seed. Before it ever blooms, it grows in darkness, undisturbed. The same goes for your growth. Your strength is shaped in quiet seasons, not in the spotlight, but in the shadows where self-awareness is born. When you're alone, the distractions fall away. You start noticing your thought patterns, your fears, your true desires. It's not about fixing yourself. It's about seeing clearly. The questions you've been too busy to ask begin to rise. What am I really chasing? Why do I keep repeating this cycle? Solitude is not idleness. It's maintenance for your mind and soul. It's where your energy regathers, your emotions level out, and your direction becomes clear again. And when you return to the world, you're less reactive, more grounded, because you've met yourself first. Start with just 10 minutes a day without stimulation. A walk, a journal session, or simply sitting. No phone, no tasks, just awareness. At first, it may feel unfamiliar, but what you're feeling is your attention coming home. This isn't isolation, it's sovereignty. The person who can enjoy their own company is free from needing the world's constant approval. In that freedom, your clarity, creativity, and confidence return. You don't need to escape your life, you just need to reconnect with the quiet wisdom already inside you. If you've made it this far, you already know peace isn't found in the noise of the world, but in the quiet corners of your own mind. These aren't just ideas, they're invitations to pause, to listen, to return to yourself. Whether it's in a breath, a moment of silence, or choosing presence over reaction, this is your path. One step at a time, one choice at a time. If this resonated with you, subscribe, share, and keep walking with me on this journey inward. Until next time, be gentle with your mind and firm in your peace.